Is this the beginning of the end for Bitcoin? Let's have a look. Hello everyone, Florian Heise here, and welcome to another episode of HeiseSays. Grab your stein of coffee because, well, are we about to see, or have we witnessed the beginning of the end for Bitcoin? Let's have a look at this, guys. Russia considers accepting Bitcoin for oil and gas. And of course, on this news from BBC, Bitcoin has surged. Here on CoinMarketCap, it's now at $44,645. So a nice little jump. In the last 7 days, it's gone up 6.7%. Even Ethereum is up. Hey, and Tether's still at $1. So everyone's happy with this news. All the Bitcoin maxis and the crypto enthusiasts are excited that Russia may be using Bitcoin for oil and gas. It's legitimizing it. Everything they hope for is coming true. Bitcoin is finally going to be mainstream. Or Bitcoin is the ultimate tool to circumnavigate sanctions that countries that don't want sanctions circumnavigated. What do you think is going to happen then? Do you think they're going to allow this to continue? Do you think there won't be interventions? Do you think there won't be calls to ban Bitcoin? They'll stop the on-ramps, they'll stop the off-ramps, they'll criminalize it. Every normie won't be able to use it. If this actually works, and if Russia can use this to get around sanctions, is this a good thing for Bitcoin, everyone? Think about it, honestly. What interventions will they do to stop it happening? What if they were accepting Tether, like USD? What would happen then? Can you imagine? So, I mean, any news is good news for crypto because it just pumps on news. That's what it is. And people will love this. But this, to me, screams like we're starting to see, this will be the nail in the coffin for this stuff. This doesn't give me long-term confidence in Bitcoin. They're going to regulate the shit out of it if the Russians use this to get around sanctions. So, Russia is considering accepting Bitcoin as payment for its oil and gas exports. Friendly countries could be allowed to pay in the cryptocurrency or in their local currencies. Unfriendly countries have to buy it with rubles. Now, the ruble has crashed. It is even worth less than it is. And of course, that's having implications for Russians and their cost of living. As they're saying here, sanctions imposed by the UK, US, and European Union following the invasion of Ukraine have put a strain on Russia's ruble and raised its cost of living. However, Russia is still the world's biggest exporter of natural gas and the second largest supplier of oil. Mr. Zavalny, who heads Russia's State Duma Committee on Energy, said on Thursday that the country has been exploring alternative ways to receive payment for energy exports. He said China and Turkey were among friendly countries, which were not involved in the sanctions pressure. We've been proposing to China for a long time to switch to statements in national currencies for rubles and yuan. With Turkey, it will be lira and rubles. Mr. Zavalny added, you can also trade in bitcoins. So that's the thing. That's the issue. If that actually happens, is this the end of the dollar? Are the crypto guys right? What about all the gold that the Russians have? Now they're buying it off the banks at significantly less than it's actually worth. So, analysts say Russia may benefit from accepting the popular cryptocurrency despite the risks. Russia is very quickly feeling the impact of unprecedented sanctions, said David Broadstock, a senior research fellow at the Energy Studies Institute in Singapore. There is a need to shore up the economy, and in many ways Bitcoin is seen as a high-growth asset. However, he noted that the value of Bitcoin has swung as much as 30% this year. In comparison, the dollar has traded within 5% against the euro. This screams of desperation. This screams of utter desperation. The volatility in Bitcoin is insane. Could you imagine having a contract and you're getting even a 7% change in a week? How can you handle that? We've got builders on the verge of collapse here in Australia because material costs are going up 30%. It's not stable enough to be used in this way. There's such volatility to it. So they're desperate. The fact that they're even suggesting this is desperate. If it actually happens, and if Bitcoin is used to circumnavigate this sanctions, this is going to be part of the death knell for Bitcoin then. Everyone and their dog will be going for it. Clearly, accepting Bitcoin compared with other traditional currencies introduces considerable more risk in the trade of natural gas, Mr. Broadstock said. Moreover, one of the major friendly trade partners for Russia is China, and cryptocurrency is banned for use in China, he added. This clearly limits potential for payment using Bitcoin. Maybe the lawmaker actually has some Bitcoin and is using this to pump the price. Maybe it's all just a publicity stunt to pump the price. Or if some Bitcoin people, gave him a bit. Pump it. There are concerns that Russian oligarchs could use virtual currencies to avoid sanctions. Well, remember, we were looking previously where they were wanting to sell a lot of their assets and put all the money in Australia. Where would it go in Australia, guys? This has spurred Ukraine's government as well as US and European politicians to ask cryptocurrency platforms to ban all Russian users. So the cryptocurrencies that were meant to set us free from the central banks and central authorities, it's all just the same shit, guys. Many firms have ruled this out, which is good, but some haven't. Some ordinary Russians are using crypto as a lifeline now that their currency has collapsed, said Brian Armstrong, chief executive of the cryptocurrency firm Coinbase. He said many of them likely oppose what the country is doing, and a ban will hurt them too. On Wednesday, Mr. Putin's comments on making unfriendly countries pay in rubles doubled the currency to a 3-week high. However, many existing gas contracts are agreed upon in euros, and it is unclear if Russia can change them. The EU relies on Russia for 40% of its gas. See, this is the problem when you go down renewables or even gas. So, guys, there we have it. Let's have a talk about this one. So, is this real? Could it possibly actually happen, or is it just a bit of media hoo-ha? I don't know. But if it does happen, if significant trade happens using cryptocurrencies, then, we're going to see some waves and some impacts to cryptocurrencies around the world. If they can be used to mitigate these sanctions, there's going to be a whole lot of there's going to be a whole lot of governments wanting to clamp down on it. And they can. Don't think they can't. And all of Coinbase's rhetoric about, people are depending on it. Come on. How many, I've had friends who were, how much of the crypto that the Russians have gotten, how many of it is it from dodgy offshore scams? Is that ethical? What do you think? What do you reckon, guys? Is this the beginning of the end for cryptocurrency, or is it a good sign for it? Is it making it better? I'm just a little bit too skeptical about it. I mean, we saw they even wanted to ban cash transactions here in Australia. Look at Monero. You can't trade it on any Australian exchange. Everyone. You can't. You've got to go to an offshore exchange, flip it, convert it, if you want to get it into real fiat that you can use to buy things. So what do you reckon? I don't think long-term this is a good sign for crypto as a legitimate currency. But you tell me your thoughts on it in the comments below. Thanks for watching, everyone. Have a great night. I'll see you next episode. If you want to help out the channel, there are a few ways you can. You can join us on YouTube or Patreon, sign up for SelfWealth or Stake, or use our affiliate links at Amazon, eBay, Independent Reserve, or AussieBroadband. Now, if you sign up for SelfWealth, I think in the next period, I need to get 10 people because they've got now Hong Kong trading. So they're my favorite Australian exchange, to be honest. And if you sign up, we each get 5 free share trades. Sure, they only last a month, but each one's worth $10. And hey, money saved is money saved. $1 saved is $1 earned. Anyway, guys, have a great day. I'll see you in the next episode of HeiseSays, and we'll have to see. What'll be interesting if some actual contracts are written in Bitcoin, because right now it's all talk. It's all talk and it means nothing. And the Bitcoiners are going nuts. If contracts are signed with it, then it's one to keep an eye on. See you next time.